Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe things down, clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting ill, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
All of us have struggled. You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.rainieravenue.world.
Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio. This is Afternoons with Monique, recording live in Seattle, Washington, every Thursday at 1 p.m. Is everyone hearing me? All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk. I'm not sure why I was on for a second and then now my screen is dark, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk. Can you guys hear me? John? Peter? All right. You're on Rainier Avenue Radio, and this is Monique Lee from the Afternoons with Monique show. Today, I have the pleasure of inviting two community leaders from the Asian American community to come on my show and share with us some of their work about their up and coming API Heritage Month. Please welcome to Afternoons with Monique, John Chen and Peter Tsai from API Heritage Month.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Hi,
Looks
Monique.
everyone's here. Perfect. Thank you for joining me on my show. Now, I haven't seen you guys for a while, but every year we have.
I was excited to talk to them the other day.
Okay, we want to turn that off.
Audience to see them. We have about 90 people registered for the conference right now.
There's some cross-talking going on. All right.
Well, hold on 1 second. That might be me. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. So while John is fixing that, Peter, I haven't seen you since a couple years ago at the OAC dinner.
Right.
And we've been talking about your planning of this year's celebration in May. Now, before we get into the major event, which is the show in May, or the celebration in May, I should say, let's talk a little bit about the history of this the celebration, because I think it's instrumental to bring this up, because it's been in 37. How many years has it been since we have this?
Right. So we have actually been doing these events at the Seattle Center for 22 years now. This will be our 22nd year. These events, though, have been happening in the community probably since the 70s, where school groups and community college groups and organizations put on various events to really highlight what's happening in the API community, provide resources to its members, and just celebrate their heritage and culture. And so It's really been a long-standing group.
Right. And as I understand it, this was it the brainchild of Al Sugiyama and you at the beginning? You guys started this?
Well, primarily Al, and I've kind of you
joined in
We
later.
all stand on the shoulders of Al.
What's that? I'm sorry, John.
Oh, sorry, Peter. We all stand on the shoulders of Al every day, right, Peter?
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
We cannot talk about Al without CCA, and we'll just touch on that. So, those of the audience that join in the community later, it's been a legacy project from the CCA and Al Sugiyama. And of course, Peter Tsai was a deputy director for CCA, which stands for Center for Career Alternatives. And, Peter, why don't you tell us a little bit about CCA, which is the father of the parent organization that originated this event?
Right. So Center for Career Alternatives organization started, I can't even remember now, probably in the 70s under Al's leadership, and really was formed to help the community, not just the Asian Pacific Islander community, but all communities. And his vision was to always be able to serve kind of the population in the community. So, that would be probably, 80% Caucasian, 14, maybe 12% African-American, 4 or 5% Asian-American.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of more Asian than that. That's like a representative of America.
Yeah, and that was really his goal. And so he provided services for education, for employment services, case management. We did school programs, employment programs, training programs, just a variety of support to individuals needing that kind of help.
Right. And I read some time ago that, this organization helped some of the, underrepresented, and also, those that have some trouble with the law and they serve their time and wasn't given an opportunity, but now rejoining society. And Al and the organization had helped many, like 30,000 individuals of all walks of life, including those that are less fortunate than most, to find employment and restart their life. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. It was open to anybody. And so, we didn't exclude anybody, and then one other philosophy he had was, once they were a client of CCA, they were always a client. So even though they might not be in the program still, that if they needed help down the road, they can come back, give us a call. And so, we kept contact with quite a few individuals as they kind of made their place in the community. So that was
Right.
really rewarding to see.
Okay, so Peter Tsai, you are one of the organizer for API Heritage Month celebration coming up, right? What is your role there?
Well, I chair the committee, and so this is actually put on by the Asian Pacific Directors Coalition, which is a coalition of API organizations and individuals in leadership positions that started probably in the 80s, and they really advocate for issues impacting the API community. In, I guess, about 2000, that's when we started the API Heritage under their tutelage. And so that's kind of how we got started. I probably came on board about 3-4 years into the process. Al really, he was the first director of the Asian Pacific Arts Coalition, and this was one of his pet projects. I don't know if you know Frankie Ergon was very instrumental in this, and quite a few others from the community. So right now, I have a great group of volunteers. John is one of our very strong volunteers in terms of our technical needs. He's really been instrumental because we had to go virtual the last 2 years.
Right.
So this year we are planning to go live, but maybe John, you can tell us a little bit of how we're going to bring in that virtual aspect, continue the virtual aspect this year.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Peter has been leading, for over a decade this program, and he's seen it go through all these changes, and now, of course, things that we've never done before. But this year we'll be running hybrid, so that we will be live. Currently planned to be live. So come on down. It's May 1st, a Sunday, from 12 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can actually watch the performance live. And of course, if you want, you can also watch it virtually. So we're going to be using a multi-camera setup to not only present our live programs using multiple cameras, but we're also going to bring in some people. So one of the things that coronavirus has given us the opportunity to is extend our reach beyond Seattle, beyond the area. So we'll have people calling in from across the country as well as Canada to join us for different aspects of the program. And so we're very excited to bring that program and just show how we took this opportunity and now we've expanded the reach of this amazing program.
Wonderful. By the way, John Chen is president of Geo Teaming, which is a virtual. Why don't you tell us just a little blip about what you do?
Yeah, thank you, Monique. And I've actually I did another interview with Monique earlier, but I used to be a face-to-face team builder. It's my 25th year of having my own business. And by the way, having an Asian-owned business is a little bit of a unicorn, meaning that there are not enough of us around. Anyway, still here after 25 years, and of course, coronavirus came around, and so I needed to change my business rapidly. But lucky for me, I've already been in technology for years, over 35 years online. I actually worked at Microsoft prior to this. So what I did is I took all those skills and now I really help people create engaging virtual meetings. So I was able to author a new book. And over the past 2 years, I've helped hundreds of people create virtual meetings like this that should be engaging and interacting with, like, of course, with Monique Lee.
Well, thank you for that. And I know that you're going to help this project, a Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebration coming up. So tell us about the presence of virtual showing or streaming of the show very quickly, if you will.
Yeah, perfect. Again, we will have some of our very traditional programs, such as a dragon dance and martial arts displays, music performances. And so we'll actually have a multi-camera streaming setup. We'll be using a camera on site. We actually have a hardline direct connection to the internet that the Seattle Center, who's been a partner for years, forever, basically, will be providing for us. And so that'll allow us to give you an experience as if you're in the audience, like watching a live television or a movie show. So that's one piece. And then Seattle Center has a new feature over the last 2 years. They actually installed a very large screen. So at different times in the program, we're going to bring a screen and then we're going to have virtual participants. So going back to Al,
wow.
one of the things we were able to do was to honor Al by is that we have a humbao eating contest. So you have to try and eat a humbao as fast as possible. And so we will actually have many of the participants will be restaurants or chefs, Asian chefs from across the world, who will, some of them will beam in and some of them will have to compete with the people on site. So that is some of the unique ways that we're doing this program. One other feature I want to add, Monique, is this year we've added 2 hours of programming every Sunday. So from Sunday 12 to 2 Pacific Standard Time, every Sunday we will have conversations. And this is what we think. Peter and I are very adamant and passionate around the Stop Asian Hate movement. So we want to educate people and we want to introduce you to Asian Pacific Islanders in the arts and then business and many other aspects. And so we'll be having 2 hours of all virtual conversations after our live performance.
Now, this is going to go on every Sunday after this, or?
Till the end of May.
Oh, okay.
May 29th, yes.
Okay, so the whole month, perfect. So 4 Sundays, folks, of the month of May, we'll have this. And, you know, I think it's so important to bring the conversation to the subject because of the Asian hate, I would call it endemic, that has been going on for the last it's been going on for quite some time, but become exacerbated over the last 2 years. And we've known of numerous incidents of attacks of our Asian American community. So I think it's very timely, and I can't wait to see the conversation kickstarted and alive in Seattle. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit maybe out of the scene here, but I have heard conversations, but I think it needs to be even more amplified and be watched and understood by a lot more people. The extent and the solution, etc. So this is amazing. Now, the program is 12 to 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 1st. And have you had all the acts lined up? Are you still accepting application for more shows?
Yes. So, this event really tries to kick off the month of May, which is obviously a national designation, API Heritage Month. And so on our website, apiheritage.org, you can find, if you're interested in doing a performance, if you're interested in becoming a vendor, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, providing some children's activities, providing some food booths, definitely send us an email and we'll get in touch with you. You've been to our events before. It's a very family-friendly event. Lots of fast-moving entertainment on the stage. And so every 15 minutes, you'll see a new group come on stage. And this year, we have a special Southeast Asian youth band that's going to be performing. So we're really excited about hearing from them.
Do you remember the name of the band?
John,
It's Nikhil Bhagat. So Nikhil Bhagat is actually a young and upcoming East Indian rock star coming up. And so he will be playing with a full band as one of the highlight sets, Monique. If you are interested in listening to this program, go to our website, apiheritage.com. Again, apiheritage.com. There you can do things like if you're a food truck or you want to offer a food or beverage, you would like to actually, if you're a community sponsor, we need you. You can buy a table and interact with many of our, on average, we have received 5,000 guests over through that day. Or apply. So if you have an act, so if you have an artistic act, a traditional or ethnic act, we want to hear from you. So we will actually have a fashion dance show. Let's see, what are the other things that we've had? food demonstrations, again, musicians, martial arts, dance groups. We've had a great variety, and I'm also excited to announce we have an Asian author who will be doing a children's story. So she'll be reading a children's book with the audience while the projector behind her shows her book. So look for the great parts where we do what Peter was talking about. We amplify, we educate and amplify the Asian Pacific Islander voices.
That's wonderful to hear. Yes, in the past when I've gone to these celebration and I only became aware of it, on the latter part of my life here in Seattle. But the last few years that I went to, there have been a number. I mean, the programs are very exciting. It's colorful and varied. The performances are very varied in ethnicity. You highlight and feature 16 or 17 ethnicities within the Asian American community. So this is a very entertaining and family-friendly event. No ticket purchase necessary. Am I right?
That's
and
right.
And it's held at the center of Seattle, which is right underneath the Space Needle there. Big venue. Lots of people can participate, and this restaurant there. If you bring children, you don't have to worry about getting food for them. It's all right there, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Monique, I want to add one piece here too, is that Asian Pacific Islanders is unique out of all the kind of ethnic groups in that it represents over 48 countries and over 100 different languages. And so even myself, every time I attend, I learn something about another culture that I may not know about, Laotian, Samoan, right, Hmong. And so there are so many. What somebody said I thought was great is they said it was like stamping your passport for 16 different countries without ever having to get on a plane.
Oh, that's like how that sounds.
Yeah.
Peter, so you're still looking for some additional sponsors and vendors,
Correct.
right? And
Yes.
Act and performances. Now, have you guys ever had skits and plays on the stage for this show before?
We've actually done some things from time to time. We would bring in some ensemble groups and various things like that. But I think we're open to anything. So if people have ideas, get in touch with us. I'd also like to mention that this is part of the Seattle Center's Festall series, and so
Right.
they represent over 25 other groups that provide these kinds of celebrations at the Seattle Center pretty much throughout the year. And so they are celebrating their 25th anniversary. You can go to Seattle Center website and look at Festall. I know that there's an Irish festival, a French festival. The Cherry Blossom Festival is coming up just prior to our event. And so, I think that people can, get a glimpse of a lot of different organizations and what they do.
Oh, and
Right.
Monique, I've got one more ask too, is that we still have space for potentially one or two MCs. You asked, do we have skits or other things? So I have been a past MC, and I won't be an MC this year because I'll be pushing a lot of technical buttons, but I actually once broke a board on stage, and let me tell you, I am not a black belt, right? But I did that before the martial arts came on. I also attempted to break dance before the real break dancers, and let me just tell you the other part, Monique. I make them look good. But if you are one of our Asian Pacific Islanders who loves being an MC, male and female, we want to meet you, and we would love to showcase you at this program all 5 hours on stage. So if you again want to apply, apiheritage.com, Monique.
All right. Sounds wonderful. I tell you, I gotta be there. I have to see this show again. That was so much fun when I was I think I participated in 2016. I think the year that before Al passed, and that was his last event. And I emceed and hosted the fashion show for the Vietnamese community, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And the Humbao eating contest wasn't named Al then. I think it was a different person's name, but that's a great tradition to keep. It's a lot of fun. Who do you have participate in the show this year? I mean, I think sometimes you have 6 or 7 people. Who do you have so far?
Well, we are still working on the lineup, and so but keep an eye on our website, and we'll be providing updates as we get them in.
You taking nomination for these things?
Sure.
Okay, I
Shoot
have
us
some
any
names.
suggestions you might have.
I believe this year is food related. So we've had themes in the past, like we've had politicians, we have sport figures, we have ethnic ethnic groups or the affinity groups at every company. So we actually had Amazon versus Microsoft versus Facebook. That was a great year. But this year, I believe it's restaurateurs. So yes, especially if you're an Asian Pacific Islander chef or restaurateur, you want to contact us because we will not only showcase you, you can actually battle the other restaurants for.
I love it. I might have a couple of names to throw into the ring. Okay, so that's the program, the lineup. We and is there anything else that you want to share with the audience in terms of future projects? So you guys have been in this since 2000 until now, and this is going to be one of those legacy that's going to repeat every year, right? So so the goal going forward is what? Bringing not just celebrating, but also bringing awareness to Asian American issues such as the Asian hate that's been going on. What else do you want to do with this project for the 5 hours? The kind of vendors that you bring that had been in the past are books, as authors, right? Authors.
Mm-hmm. We have some authors, yeah.
Okay, and restaurants. Who else?
Just folks that have different items that represent their communities. Mm-hmm. So some of the tables would focus on some of the Pacific Islander products and things like that.
Can you repeat that one more time? We missed one of your sentences. That the last one. So one of the vendors.
Just one of the vendors that focused on Pacific Islander items, and so but they also shared about their culture. So
yeah, Monique, I'll add on here too. This should be our 20th year anniversary, right? Again, it started officially 1982, I believe, is where we're at. I know it's kind of disputed, but what's really important is that Al Sugiyama really started this, and every day we work on this. We're working to honor him. Recently, he had a street named after him. Right. But what we're really looking at is, if there's anything we learned from Black History Month, is that it's not a month, Monique. It's all year, right? We use this to highlight this, but the one message we always trying to get out is that, Asian Pacific Islander, the heritage should be celebrated all year long, not just for a month. And that's one of the programs that we are working on. How can we keep this kind of type of programming and other experiences going forward throughout the year?
That's great to hear. And I really appreciate that you guys take the time to come on Afternoons with Monique to share with our audience about this event, and can't wait. I mean, it's only 40 days from the day of. So folks, if you have an act, if you want to MC, if you want to sponsor some of the programs, I will be in touch with some of my restaurateur friends to see if they have signed up to participate in the Hambao Eating Contest. It sounds like an amazing event. So thank you so much for coming on to my show.
And thank you, Monique, for inviting us.
Thank you, Monique.
You're welcome. See you guys later. All right. You're on Rainier Avenue Radio. I'm Monique Lee, the host, and on Afternoons with Monique. Next week, we're going to have Mazi Eckel, Miss Washington USA 2022 reigning queen, coming on and sharing with us about her platform and celebrating her win. So join us and see Mazi Eckel next week. All right. Have a great afternoon, folks. I'll see you soon.
This is Paul Pearson,